Hey guys, I'm Nicole with Four Wine and Wine. Today on Four Wine and Wine, we have Mel, and she's from Canada. And this was my first time doing a video interview with her on a computer. So this was my guinea pig session, and she gracefully agreed to do that. And we had a couple of glitches in the first few minutes of her interview. One big one on my part. I forgot to hit record and missed about 5 to 6 minutes of her interview and her intro to Four Wine and Wine. And we talked about it after her interview. And so I just decided to go back and make a short little video about some great content that we got from her. So please give it a listen. It'll be up on YouTube. It'll be up on Facebook on Four Wine and Wine. And I'll put a link to X on it as well. So please go ahead and follow, like, and share. And thank you for your support. I really appreciate everything. And if any one of you ladies want to do this with me, please reach out. And I would love to have you on the show. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Car. The only difference, obviously, we race on dirt. So I think that, going back to his roots has been kind of really exciting. Mm-hmm. I will say that, there's been a little bit of a development since the last time we talked. My husband made the very, very difficult decision this week that he's actually put the race car for sale.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know that we're going to leave the sport altogether,
right.
But certainly I think at this point he may take a little break from driving, and we've got lots of friends that race, so perhaps he'll be a little bit more involved in terms of just being part of the pit crew. But with the rising cost of racing equipment, with tariffs, the exchange, that's one of the struggles, obviously, with being in Canada, is that a lot of the stuff is manufactured in the States. So just looking at a typical Hoosier tire, for us, for one tire, it's probably close to 500 Canadian per tire. And then, tires are normally only raced on 3-4 times.
Yeah.
So it's just getting beyond.
It's so expensive. That's insane.
It is so crazy. And I know, people will often be like, well, I mean, it's a tire is a tire. No, a tire is not a tire. And even to make people understand that, we actually ruin the integrity of the tire every time we grind it and every time we sipe it, which is pretty wild. But, obviously that plays into the performance of the car. So, yeah, so that's been a really hard decision. Also to, the economy is really struggling, so we don't have a whole lot of sponsorship. So we've got, friends who get, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in sponsorships. We have an amazing sponsor that really believes in us and gives us what they're able to afford. So just to kind of put it into perspective, our total in sponsorship this year has been $1,000. So everything else has
that's 2 tires.
Right? Everything else comes out of our pocket. So I don't know if you listen to Kenny Wallace's podcast. If not, I recommend that you do.
Okay.
God love Kenny Wallace. He, for those who don't know, he's a retired NASCAR driver, but very involved.
I see him on YouTube every once in a while.
Yeah. But still very much involved in dirt racing. So he put out a podcast, I want to say about a week or so ago. My dad sent it to me right away, and he's like, I think you and Dan have to have a listen. But anyways, the podcast was about NASCAR drivers, or just race car drivers, neglecting their family. And it just kind of gets into the nitty gritty of just how it becomes an obsession. And then, you're racing to win, obviously for some of our races, it's $500 is what you get for first place. And you get, I think, $100 for taking the green. So it's not a whole lot of money. So you're dumping all this money in, as well as, people don't ever ask us to do something on a Friday or a Sunday. We're not available. Right. We often are not available during the week because we're working on the race car. So I think we're trying to have a healthier kind of, I'm not going to say work-life balance, but work-life racing balance. So those are the things that kind of play into it. My biggest role with the race team has always been I'm the organizer. So just kind of making sure that we know what the schedules are, where we're going, making sure the trailer's packed, More recently, I started with, grinding tires, um,
I call it
changing,
exfoliating tires.
right? I love it. Let's boost my
You're exposing
resume,
the pores of the tires.
right? So that has really been, and really, and I think my husband would say, like, I'm the cheerleader. When he's, working in the garage and it's like 3 a.m., I'm like coming in to be like, okay, babe, you got to go to bed now. And just, it really is a sport that requires like mind, body, and soul.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize it too, that it really is like a physically demanding sport, not
Yes.
just, kind of mentally demanding. And I'm so proud of him. He's such an amazing driver. It just, we can't compete with the people who have all the money in the world and
That's so
who
sad.
don't have to stress about, going on the track and breaking something and wondering like, okay, where are we going to pull the money to get a new drive shaft? The car's for sale. It's not sold. We're still kind of planning on probably racing some of the bigger races. I don't know if he's going to do every week. He's probably going to want to test this break out to see kind of how it goes. But it's been interesting this past week. We're all in the fields.
Well, you're still a dirt track girl,
Oh,
whether or
listen,
not
that'll
you have
never
a race
change.
car or not.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. This sport is ingrained into like who I am, and
Yeah.
certainly this is part of my husband's identity. We created a race car coloring book last year as part of like raising sponsors, so that's available on Amazon. And Dan's known as the race car driver guy, so that's not going to change. That's not going to change. And listen, is he going to stay away from the sport forever? Hell no. I'm not
I
stupid.
didn't. I was just going to ask
Right?
that. I was like, is there any plans on maybe future racing? Like if costs go down a little bit or you guys get a sponsor? Good.
Absolutely. I know right now, like my husband's a tinkerer. So, I can see us purchasing kind of an older like muscle car or something like that and doing like a resto mod. But listen, I know that this is where his heart is, and God bless him, like at the track. He's a superstar. Like that's a feeling that you're not going to be able to get out, right? Like
Yeah.
in the real world. So I'm sure we're going to come back to it.
Good. That's awesome. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hey, if anybody needs a sponsor, you need to sponsor them.
Right.
I don't know any Canadian sponsors. I don't know, but
yeah, it's
Coca-Cola,
just so
come on.
hard. And also too, like Pro Stock is not, considered to be like, we're not the showstoppers, right? Like
Right.
that's more the 358 mods, and even Sportsman is really big kind of in this area. So if anyone's going to sponsor, they're likely going to kind of sponsor that class. Anyways, we'll see. Like I said, things could change minute by minute. We've gotten a lot of people reach out since the car was posted on Tuesday for sale to just be like, what, you're leaving? Where are you going? Like, what's going on? So we've been very transparent that it's not because like we're over it. It's just, financially we're realizing that this is, a little more than what we anticipated having to pay. So who knows, something might come out, putting it out in the universe.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If not, you're going to be at the racetrack, right?
Of course. That's
you can't get away from it. It's in your blood.
Right. And I'm sure I still have remnants of dirt in my hair from from last weekend. You want to talk about exfoliating? I exfoliate every time I go to the track.
It's definitely a scalp exfoliation.
Right.
Yes, that we have going on. So can we talk a little bit more about your personal life?
Of course.
Okay. Do you have any children? I know you have children, but let the people know.
Yes. So I have two daughters. Yes. My oldest is 20. Her name's Danica. And then I have a 16-year-old daughter, Zoe. We're a pretty tight-knit family. I'm very, very fortunate to have them in my life. Again, another transition this year. My oldest moved out of the home. So again, not under bad terms. Like it's all good, but certainly in terms of, being a mom, when you got to let them fly from the coop, it's been hard to just kind of go to be a family of three. But I love being a mom.
You can tell. Any plans on her future?
So right now, Danica is working for Canada Post, but Canada Post is actually on strike right now. So poor thing. The snail mail is something of the past. So I don't know that that'll be kind of a long-term career, but she's a farm girl, just like we are. And she shows cattle. So they raise Charolais cows, which are the beautiful, like all white cows. They actually wash them with like purple shampoo to make them like super bright and white. So
Really?
yeah, so it's kind of like beauty pageants, but for cows. So she does that during the summer months. So she goes to all the county fairs, and obviously the more awards they get, the more the cows are worth. And then, especially like the bulls, they can sell like the semen for extra money. So their farm is really, really well known. And yeah, that is her life. If you were to ask my daughter what her like dream job would be to be a stay-at-home mom. So
That is
I have
awesome.
no doubt that, I'm sure her and her boyfriend will get married in the very near future. And start a family.
That's wonderful. Congratulations on
Yeah,
raising such beautiful girls.
thank you. Thank you.
How long have you and your husband been married?
So actually, in 2 weeks, we'll be celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
It's very cool that I've been with them since I was 15 years old. I've never dated anyone else. We just have the most beautiful relationship. I literally count my blessings every day. He is my best friend. I'm really blessed.
That sounds like you are. That's wonderful. Anything else you want to talk about?
Just how amazing you are, and that what you're doing is so cool. You have no idea.
Oh.
I've been sharing it with other people in terms of what you're putting together, as well as promoting women in the sport. I sent one of my friends some info, so I know that you'll be doing an interview with her in July, which is so awesome. I think that you're just really empowering women to be proud of who they are, and that's amazing.
I see it every Friday and Saturday at the racetrack, and I'm blown away by some of these women that get in it.
Yeah,
and even if they're not in it, and they make shop food, or you pack a cooler, or make sure they have a fan in the trailer for hot days. You girls need to be highlighted and showcased and celebrated as well. So I know the drivers have their fan base, but you guys need your fan base as well. And I'm one of your fans. So I wanted to highlight the women of racing, and I appreciate everything that you do for the dirt track world and what you do for your race team and the racing community around your hometown. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Listen, it is really something really special. And like I said, for me, it goes right down to my roots. I remember being little and running around the racetrack and, falling asleep in a VIP booth, in a tower somewhere. And, basically wherever you are in Cornwall on a Sunday night, you can hear the revving of the engines at the track. And there's just something about the smell of race fuel and kind of, rubber being grinded. And it makes me so happy. So, really excited to be able to talk about my involvement with dirt track racing.
And what's your home track?
So Cornwall Motor Speedway would be our home track. They're about 20 minutes from our home.
Nice.
I would say, Mohawk International Raceway. So that's in Frogtown, New York, on the state side. Okay. They also are about 30 to 40 minutes from us. When my husband raced Mod Lights, he only raced there because it wasn't a class that was raced in Cornwall. So that too is kind of where our home track is as well. I would say primarily fan base, as well as kind of friends that we've met in the sport are rooted on the state side. And then we're very fortunate because in Quebec, there are some dirt tracks there as well. So we've got a lot of tracks within, I would say, 2 hours from us, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks within 2 hours from us. And then kind of for us, the the kind of the mothership of dirt track racing for us would be in Syracuse, New York. So during in September, we have like a full week of racing. And then also the dirt racing headquarters is in Weedsport, New York, which is just about 20 minutes outside of Syracuse. So we're kind of very lucky that some of the bigger names in dirt track racing definitely come and race at our tracks.
Yeah.
We had Tony Stewart that raced at Mohawk, Jessica Zemkins. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to kind of see those people race in front of you.
Well, we start Ohio Speed Week today, and it's 9 tracks in 9 days. So we're at Attica tonight, and we're at Sharon, Pennsylvania, or well, not Sharon, Pennsylvania, but Sharon. It's like right on the border of Pennsylvania. Yeah, so I always say Sharon, Pennsylvania. We're at Sharon tomorrow, and the weather doesn't look good for most of Speed Week, but fingers crossed. And then we'll be down at Tony Stewart's racetrack at Eldora on Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah, so we also have a big collection of dirt tracks around Ohio, but I've never been up to New York. I think the furthest I've traveled is Williams Grove, Pennsylvania. I've only traveled that far east. I've always wanted to go to Kokomo, but I've always wanted to go to Knoxville too. So that's out west.
Yeah, exactly.
But Syracuse, New York, I'll go there. That sounds like fun. Maybe we can meet in person finally.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
I'll let you know if we go there ever.
For sure. Yeah. It's just a 3-hour drive for us. And really, Syracuse is like a home away from home for us. We go down there quite a bit, especially with, having to purchase racing equipment. They do a lot of their like dirt track exhibition shows out of Syracuse. So yeah, that would be totally cool.
Yeah. We can hang out and drink wine. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're so well. I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan, just so you know, like obsessed.
You are?
Oh, like obsessed.
Love
like
Dolly.
Obsessed. Yeah. Like something big. So anyways, yeah, she just came out with her own brand of wine. So I got to get my hands on that.
I'm going to look that up.
Yep.
What kind of wine do you like?
I would say like probably like a rosé would probably be like my go-to. I'm not a huge like red and white kind of girl. I like it like sweet and light. It's more kind of my way to go.
There you go. Me too. I have to be in the mood. Like I'm a bartender. So when I pour red wine and it smells fragrant to me, that's when I know I'm in the mood for a red. But it's usually like a Pinot Grigio or a Chardonnay, crisp Chardonnay for me. So.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
No,
Mel.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being my guinea pig too. I appreciate your patience today with this whole. I started doing this just today, and I know we had a few glitches in the very beginning of this, but hopefully you're happy with the interview. Happy. I mean, if you want to do another one again in the future, when I'm a little bit more seasoned at this, I will totally have you on again.
Of course. Yeah. Holler at me anytime. I love this stuff. I'm all about like girl power and women empowerment. I am just in terms of my podcast, I am going to take a break, probably for the summer months, July and August, just because they're nuts. But I'm going to come back in September with season 2. And I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, we'll talk about the season.
Connected. Great.
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys,
You're so
I hope
welcome.
everything goes okay for you this summer. And I'm sorry to hear about your husband selling the race car. But you're still a part of the racing community. So Thank you for being you. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
All right, girlfriend. I'll talk to you later. We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys, for joining us on 4 Wide and Wine show. All right. Thanks. Bye.